Hannah Ship's Navigator. Hey, baby. Are you a parking ticket? Because you got fine written all over you. She's blue, white, one colorless, legendary creature, human artificer. One blue, white, colorless, return target artifact or enchantment card from your graveyard to your hand. Gives you artifact and enchantment recursion. This is Therese Nielsen. She's one of my favorite artists. She also did Eternal Witness. She always draws the hot. And welcome to another exciting episode of the Commander's Crypt. Thanks for being with us today. I really like making these videos, and I'm really glad that you're here to watch it. As you can tell, the last time I did a video, no, that wasn't the speaker, the microphone scratchy. That was my throat. I hadn't made a video in a couple of days, so I wanted to, even though I was under the weather. It seems like every time I come back from Korea, I pick up something. I don't know what that was. It wasn't a sinus infection, cold, or the COVID. I don't know what it was. But anyway, I'm back and better than ever. And I wanted, after resting a couple days, I wanted to make another video. Today we're going to do a shrine video, commander. This is kind of a neat commander. It's Go-Shintai of Life's Origin, 1 green, 3 colorless, legendary enchantment creature shrine. For Werborg and tap it, you can return target enchantment card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Then whenever Go-Shintai of Life's Origin or another non-token shrine enters the battlefield under your control, create a 1/1 colorless shrine enchantment creature token. So there's the token right there, and you're going to be making a lot of them. Too bad they don't fly. But there for a while, these things were quite pricey. But I haven't checked them lately. I'm very sure they went down since then. One more thing, if you're in the New Orleans area, swing by your local LGS, Go for Games, or go online and look, see if they got any cards for you. We'd really appreciate that. Yeah, so that's that. So we're going to get on into it. Oh, one more thing before we get into it. If you're a cosplayer, please send me any submissions you may have, and we'll put you on the channel and get your name out there. So that's it. That's all the PSAs I have for now. So we'll get right into it. So this is probably the other third most popular deck from Neon Dynasty. Ishin is very popular, and because it's a sneaky good commander. Like, you're looking at it going, okay, yeah, whatever. It took a while, and it takes a while to find cards that work with Ishin, but once you do, that guy is very, very strong. So, and then there's Hinata, the other second most popular commander, and then there's Go-Shintai of Life's Origins. There's another way to build this with Captain Sisay, and she allows you to tutor for everything, and she gets bigger every time an enchantment comes out. She's a 2/2, but she can be up to a 7/7 once different permanents with different colors come out. So Go-Shintai might be the best way to go with this. So without further ado, we'll get into it. Just like every video in Commander, we always start out with the Soul Ring, the cheap, fast mana. Arcane Signet's only been out for a couple of years, but already it is a Commander staple. Add 1 mana of any color in your Commander's color identity. Go-Shintai, just so you know, Go-Shintai is green, 3 colorless, but Werborg in his lower text box there. But that counts if, for you newer Commander players, I know the ones that have been playing for a while know this, but we're trying to get more Commander players into the fold. You can use all of the colors if it's in their text box there. So Arcane Signet will give you all of the colors you need. Commander Sphere, same thing. This is good in case later game you got plenty of mana. It allows you to draw cards, and that's always a good thing. So another commander staple, Swiftfoot Boots. That's going to help boots up your commander to keep him from getting killed. What you're going to find out that is this deck has a lot of protection between Swiftfoot Boots and then other things I'll show you here. This deck has all kinds of protection. It's a very, very good deck. Swiftfoot Boots to put on your commander. And remember, every time you say Swiftfoot Boots, you got to say it in a Scottish accent. If it's not Scottish, it's crap. Ghostly Prison helps you protect yourself. Creatures can't attack you unless their control pays 2 for each creature he or she controls that's attacking you. And then you've got, then you've got Propaganda in there as well to do the same thing. Gives you a lot of protection. Very good cards in this deck, and there's more effects like this in here. A lot of protection. Once you get going with this deck, it just kind of locks itself down, and nobody can. Everything has hexproof, the player included. And we'll get to those. Binding the Old Gods, 1 green, 1 black, 2 colorless. This is Saga. Destroy target non-land permanent and opponent controls. So for 4 mana, you can destroy a permanent. Then you've got 2 more ticks of the Saga to go. 2, search your library for a forest card, put it on the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. Okay, that's value. 3, creatures you control gain death touch until end of turn. So it's basically a anything destroyer spell for 4 mana, and then you get more value after that. Next is Sterling Grove. Here's that protection I was telling you about. Other enchantments you control have Shroud. Then 1 colorless, sacrifice Sterling Grove, search your library for an enchantment card, reveal it, then shuffle and put that card on top of it. So yeah, very good card, gives you a lot of value. And then if as you can see, it says other enchantments you control have Shroud. So that's what they're going to do. They're going to shoot that one, and it doesn't have Shroud to then uncover your other enchantments. And if that happens, you can quickly sacrifice it and shuffle up another enchantment. But then if you've got Privileged Position in there also with Sterling Grove, they basically both cover each other, and now everything has hexproof. Unless somebody has a mass enchantment, destroyer, or exile spell, you're ironclad. Order shorts. If you've watched my other videos, I made a video on the 15 cards that you should get now. This is one of them. It's just so good. 1 white, 1 green, 1 colorless. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may destroy target artifact or enchantment. So the good thing about this card, it doesn't say cast, it says when it comes into play. And guess what? Every time, like with Go-Shintai, every time you put a shrine into play, you create a shrine enchantment token, plus there's other ways to create tokens. So nobody else will have enchantments, artifacts, but you will. Very, 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 very strong card. And they're very cheap. Go get them. They're like just a couple of dollars. Next, we've got Collective Blessing. Creatures you control get +3/+3. So anytime you play an enchantment with your commander, you get a shrine token. But then with this, they now become 4/4s. And 2 other cards I would suggest putting in here would be Luminarch's Ascension, of course, because that's my favorite card. It's just too good. If you play that second turn, now you're just pumping out angels all over the place. And then later on, when you play this, they're going to be 7/7s. Another very good card to put in this deck would be Divine Visitation. So that way, anytime you make a shrine token with Go-Shintai or other ways in which I will show you, they also come in as 4/4 angels with Vig, and there's all kinds of ways to make them bigger, like Collective Blessing. Next is Mirari's Wake. 1 white, green, 3 colorless creatures you control get +1/+1, so that's going to pump your tokens or your angels. Whenever you tap a land for mana, add 1 mana to your mana pool of any type that land produced. It's a mana doubler. Next we have Sanctum of All. It's Warborg. It's a legendary enchantment shrine. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may search your library and or graveyard for a shrine card and put it onto the battlefield. If you search your library this way, shuffle it. If an ability of another shrine you control triggers while you control 6 or more shrines, that ability triggers an additional time. Very, very good card in this deck. And that white, blue, black, red, green Wooburg, as we call it, it's not hard to do in this deck. There's all kinds of lands that give you multiple colors of lands, just like, and then there's the Arcane Signet and the Commander Sphere, like I showed you. So once you play this at the beginning of your upkeep, you may put your best enchantments onto the board. So probably one of the first enchantments you're going to grab is Privileged Position or Sterling Grove to make all of your things hexproof. And then every turn you're just growing. Very, very, very strong card. And then with Go-Shintai, you're making tokens every time that happens. Very, very good card. Greater Oromancy. Hey, baby. 1 white, 1 colorless. Other enchantments you control have Shroud, and enchanted creatures you control have Shroud. This is a very good card in this deck. It's an enchantment and gives your enchantments and enchanted creatures you control Shroud. Next is Privileged Position. I mentioned this card earlier. White, green, white, green, white, green hybrid, 2 colorless. Other permanents you control can't be the target of spells or abilities your opponents control. So there you go. That and Sterling Grove, and now everything is protected. Your Sterling Grove protects your Privileged Position and vice versa. And you know, with Sanctum of All, you can immediately start putting these down 6th turn. Then before that, we've got Leyline of Sanctity. 2 white, 2 colorless. If Leyline of Sanctity is in your opening hand, you may begin the game with it on the battlefield. You have hexproof. So on top of all that, you've got hexproof as well, so nobody can dome you with a crackling power. You know, the other day, again, we played Magic last night and somebody cleared the table with that card. But if you've got this in your opening hand, they're not going to be able to zap you. This is a very, 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 very good deck. It's a lot of fun. So if you have this in your hand, it'll be a turn 0 effect. Then after that, we have got Lazotep Plating, another way to protect your things. If somebody goes to zap your things, you know, disenchanted or whatever, 1 blue, 1 colorless, amass 1. You and your permanents you control gain hexproof until end of turn. Again, that is good for you as well. Somebody tries to zap you with a big old mama crackle with power, and you play this, and then you laugh at them. Next, we're going to get into the actual shrines that are in this deck, and so we're going to go by the colors. What you're going to notice with red, surprise, surprise, is they burn targets. Honden of Infinite Rage, legendary enchantment shrine, 1 red, 2 colorless. At the beginning of your upkeep, Honden of Infinite Rage deals damage to target creature or player equal to the number of shrines you control. They're going to be cheap. They're going to be coming in for free. And then again, you can double that effect with, there's a Strionic Resonator in this deck, but then also there's other ways that you can you know, do your effects twice. So this is a very, very, very Good card. Next one is going to be Sanctum of Shattered Heights. Again, 1 red, 2 colorless. Discard a land card or shrine card. Sanctum of Shattered Heights deals X damage to target creature or planeswalker, where X is the number of shrines you control. So, you know, you can, once you're going, especially if you've got your enchantments coming in for free, you can discard lands that are in your hand and start bolting any permanents out there that are causing you problems. Next enchantment is Go-Shintai of Ancient Wars. He is a legendary enchantment creature, 1 red, 2 colorless, first strike, 2/2. At the beginning of your end step, you may pay 1. When you do, Go-Shintai of Ancient Wars deals X damage to target player or planeswalker, where X is the number of shrines you control. So there you go. And then again, like I said, with this out, that doubles these effects. Next is, now we're going to get into the blue ones. Estrid's Invocation. It's an enchantment. You may have Estrid's Invocation enter the battlefield as a copy of any enchantment you control, except it gains at the beginning of your upkeep. You may exile this enchantment. If you do, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. So, you know, if it's not a legendary enchantment, you can copy it. So you could, you know, make 2 Sterling Groves, so now they protect each other. And then if you want, you can bounce this back in your hand and have it come down as a copy of something else. Very, very, very good card. Next one's Copy Enchantment. As Copy Enchantment comes into play, choose an enchantment to play. If you do, Copy Enchantment comes into play as a copy of that enchantment. Again, non-legendary. You could copy your Sterling Grove or your Privileged Position, and now they both cover each other. Next card is Honden of Seeing Winds. 1 blue, 4 colorless. At the beginning of your upkeep, draw a card for each shrine you control. Super, super strong in this deck. And again, like I said, with Shrinic Resonator and Sanctum of All, you can double these effects. Next we've got Sanctum of Calm Waters, 1 blue, 3 colorless. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, you may draw X cards, where X is the number of shrines you control. If you do, discard a card. Again, drawing cards. Very, very fun deck. It's strong. This is a very, very strong deck. I'm very impressed. Go-Shintai of Lost Wisdom. 1 blue, 1 colorless flying. At the beginning of your end step, you may pay 1 colorless. When you do, target player mills X cards, where X is the number of shrines you control. That could be good or bad. And it's a May, so if you are playing, you know, Muldrotha, you're definitely not going to want to do that. If you're playing a deck that uses their graveyard, you definitely don't want to do this. But other opponents, you could do that way. You would deny them resources, especially if they're kind of land screwed. Next is Honden of Cleansing Fire. Now we get into the white enchantments. 1 white, 3 colorless. At the beginning of your upkeep, you gain 2 life for each shrine you control. Again, that could be doubled. That's, I mean, heck, think about that. Just with this, and this one counts. It's an old Kamigawa card too. I like that. When, you know, with this and 2 others, you're making 6 points of life every turn. But you know, you're going to have a bunch of shrines out here, especially if you're, you know, popping them out. 1 per turn. You know, there's all kinds of tutors in this deck to get Sanctum of All, and then they all start coming in 1 per turn, and on top of you casting them. And then there's enchantresses in this deck that allow you to draw cards when you play enchantments. Next is Elspeth Conquers Death. 2 white, 3 colorless. Exile target permanent and opponent controls with converted mana cost 3 or less. Not bad. For 5 mana, you get to exile somebody's Ristic Study or any other thing that's super powerful that's giving you problems. Next 2 ticks, non-creature spells your opponents cast cost 2 more to cast until your next turn. Okay, that's going to tax them and slow them down. Then the 3rd tick, return target creature or planeswalker card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Put a +1/+1 counter or loyalty counter on it. The cool thing about this is you'll see there's a lot of enchantment creatures in here. So you pull a creature out of your deck, it's going to have it be an enchantment. So then it's going to get the all the benefits of all the other cards that you have in here. You're going to be making tokens, you're going to be drawing cards. So fantastic card in this deck. Sigil of the Empty Throne. Another good card in this deck. 2 white, 3 colors. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, create a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying. Very, very good card. With the other 2 angel makers that I told you about, you could be popping angels out all over the place, win the game that way. And then with aura shards, you're killing artifacts and enchantment as you do it. Sphere of Safety, very strong card. 1 white, 4 colorless. Creatures can't attack you or a planeswalker you control unless their controller pays X for each of those creatures, where X is the number of enchantments you control. And that includes this one. So if you've got 4 enchantments out there, they have to pay 4 for every creature that they want to attack you or a planeswalker. Very, very, very strong card in this deck. And with propaganda and other propaganda effects, it could be 4, 6, 8, 10 mana they have to pay just to attack with 1 creature. Very good card, very strong deck, a lot of fun. Sanctum of Tranquil Light, legendary enchantment shrine. 1 white, but then it says for 1 white, 5 colorless, tap target creature. This ability costs 1 less to activate for each shrine you control. So you can keep doing that. On top of the protection you get from Sphere of Safety and Ghostly Prison and Propaganda, this also allows you to tap creatures. And it doesn't matter if they're flying or not. So for white mana, you could tap every, if you heads up with somebody, especially 1v1, you could tap all of their stuff with just 1 mana per creature. Next, we've got Go-Shintai of Shared Purpose. 1 white, 3 colorless. Vigilance, at the beginning of your end step, you may pay 1. If you do, create a 1/1 colorless spirit creature token for each shrine you control. Very strong. Very strong. If you've got Divine Visitation on here, boop, 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 you pop out a bunch of 4/4 angels with Vigilance. Next, we've got Weaver of Harmony, enchantment creature, Snake Druid, just came out, Neon Dynasty. Other enchantment creatures you control get +1/+1. Green, tap them, copy target activated or trigger ability you control from an enchantment source. You may choose new targets for the copy. Another way to double your burn shrines, your Sanctum of All, it's basically a Strionic Resonator. Very, very good card. Honden of Life's Web. 1 green, 4 colorless. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a +1, a 1/1 colorless spirit creature token into play for each shrine you control. Making all kinds of shrines. Blockers, attackers. Sanctum of Fruitful Harvest. 1 green, 2 colorless. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, add X mana of any 1 color, where X is the number of shrines you control. That helps you cast your things. Very good. I hope you like this deck. It's pretty cool, right? I mean, it's very, very good. Go-Shintai of Boundless Vigor. And sometimes it's neat to have, an enchantment deck or something like that. Sometimes you're not in the, like me, I'm always in the mood to play dragons and demons and vampires and angels. But, you might you might want to just take a break from playing creatures and play enchantments instead. It's a lot of fun. Go-Shintai of Boundless Vigor, 1 green, 1 colorless, trample. At the beginning of your end step, you may pay 1. When you do, put a 1/1 counter on target shrine for each shrine you control. It's going to get big. Extinguish All Hope. This is a one-sided board wipe, 2 black, 4 colorless, and everybody knows here at the Commander's Crypt, we love one-sided side warps, one-sided board wipes. Destroy all non-enchantment creatures, and your creatures are pretty much all enchantment creatures. Even your shrines are. See, this works with your shrines as well. Your shrine says token enchantment creature, so it doesn't kill those either. Sanctum of Stone Fangs, 1 black, 1 colorless. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, each opponent loses X life, and you gain X life, where X is the number of shrines you control. Very good card in this deck. You're able to suck the life out of your opponents. Go-Shintai of Hidden Cruelty, 1 black, 3 colorless, Death Touch. At the beginning of your end step, you may pay 1. When you do, destroy target creature with toughness X or less, where X is the number of shrines you control. Every turn, boom, you're killing the biggest threat that you have out there. Now, this token, shrine, token enchantment creature, shrine, it says it's a shrine. So that adds to the count. Honden of Night's Reach, 1 black, 3 colorless, another Kamigawa card there. At the beginning of your upkeep, target opponent discards a card for each shrine you control. That's strong. You know, milling is one thing, but blowing up people's hands is another. Very, very, very strong target opponent. And then you've got the Strionic Resonator to double any effects that you want to do. Another Commander staple, 2 colorless artifact, 2 tap it, copy target triggered ability control. You may choose new targets for the copy. A triggered ability uses the words when, whenever, or at. So there you go. Very, 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 very good card. Replenish. Here's where we get into the graveyard recursion and the tutoring spells. What this does, very strong card, 1 white, 3 colorless, replenish, return all enchantment cards from your graveyard into play. It's a sorcery, but still very, very strong. Pull from Eternity. If somebody exiles something, 1 white instant, put target face-up card that's removed from the game into its owner's graveyard. So at least you can take it out of exile and put it into your graveyard. Everybody knows. Tempt with Discovery. This is going to help you tutor for lands. And this is a very good card too. 1 green, 3 colorless. Tempting offer, it sure is. Search your library for a land card and put it onto the battlefield. Now it doesn't say tapped, so it comes in untapped. Then it goes around. Each opponent may search his or her library for a land card and put it on the battlefield. For each opponent who searches a library this way, search your library for a land card and put it on the battlefield. Doesn't say tapped. Then each player who searched the library this way shuffles it. So this is tough. You know, when you play this, and you're the opponent, you're sitting there going, oh man, I don't want to give him a bunch of land. You kind of want to see what everybody else does. If everybody else doesn't need lands or whatever, then great. But sometimes you're just in a bad situation where you just need 1 more land to be able to start casting things. So, very good card. If your opponents bite, you got a bunch of lands coming in and they don't come in to play tapped, you can use them to cast your big things. And you can search. Another good thing about this card is it allows you to search for different land types. So if you're looking to, you're looking for your 5 colors to put Sanctum of All in there, then you can grab whatever lands that you need to be able to cast that. Enlightened Tutor, Search your library for an artifact or enchantment card and reveal that card to all players. Shuffle your library and put the revealed card back on top of it. Allows you to grab whatever you want. I always end up getting Luminarch Ascension because I love that card. It's just so strong second turn. But anyway, lets you grab anything. Fantastic card. Idyllic Tutor, 1 white, 2 colorless. Search your library for an enchantment card, reveal it, and put it into your hand. Then shuffle your library. Another very good card. Allows you to tutor for your enchantments. Gen, Arcanum Weaver. He's Mardu, black, white, red. Legendary creature, human wizard. Black, white, red, tap him, sacrifice an enchantment, return target enchantment card from your graveyard to the battlefield. So this allows you to swap enchantments. Very good card. A bunch of recursion. Shrine Steward, 5 colorless, 3/2. When Shrine Steward enters the battlefield, you may search your library for an aura or shrine card, reveal it, and put it in your hand, then shuffle. Zur the Enchanter. This guy is way busted. You know, Zur Enchanter decks are very strong decks. He's Esper, black, blue, white, and colorless. He flies. Whenever Zur the Enchanter attacks, it doesn't say hit trigger, it's an attack trigger. You may search your library for an enchantment card with converted cost 3 or less and put it on the battlefield. If you do, shuffle your library. Very good card. Another enchantment tutor. Hannah Ship's Navigator. Hey, baby. Are you a parking ticket? Because you got fine written all over you. She's blue, white, 1 colorless. Legendary creature, human artificer. 1 blue, white, colorless. Return target artifact or enchantment card from your graveyard to your hand. Gives you artifact and enchantment recursion. This is Therese Nielsen. She's one of my favorite artists. She also did Eternal Witness. She always draws the hot babes there. Giggity. Sithis Harvest Hands. 1 white and a green. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, you gain 1 life and draw a card. Another enchantress. She is a legendary enchantment creature, so you can go tutor her up or whatever, and she's protected as well when that one-sided board wipe goes off that I showed you earlier. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, you gain 1 life and draw a card. Enchantress's Presence, 1 green, 2 colorless. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, draw a card. Tameshi, Reality Architect. She's a Moonfolk Wizard, 2/3. Whenever 1 or more non-creature permanents are returned to hand, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. X white, return a land you control to its owner's hand. Return target artifact or enchantment card with mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Activate only as a sorcery. So there you go. Very good in this deck. Archon of Sun's Grace. 2 white, 2 colorless, flying lifelink. Pegasus creatures you control have lifelink. Constellation, whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, create a 2/2 white Pegasus creature token with flying. Bing, bing, bing. Making dudes. Perplexing Chimera. 1 white, 4 colorless. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, you may exchange control of Perplexing Chimera and that spell. If you do, you may choose new targets for the spell. Very strong. You play this and people are going to look at that and they're not going to want to play their planeswalkers or big or commander or whatever. It doesn't say non-commander, so very strong. He is also an enchantment creature. Tuvasa the Sunlit. That's white, green, and blue. Tuvasa the Sunlit gets +1/+1 for each enchantment you control. Whenever you cast your first enchantment spell, draw a card. So that's an enchantress effect, but then also as big as however enchantments you have on the battlefield. Destiny Spinner, 1 green, 1 colorless. Enchantment creature. Creature and enchantment spells you control can't be countered. 1 green, 3 colors. Target land you control becomes an XX elemental with trample and haste till end of turn, where X is the number of enchantments you control. So that's pretty strong. Dryad of the Elysian Grove. 1 green, 2 colorless. You may play an additional land on each of your turns. Lands you control are every basic land type in addition to their other types. That helps you with your mana fixing. Allows and ramp. Sanctum Weaver, 1 green, 1 colorless. Enchantment creature Dryad. Add X mana of any one color where X is the number of enchantments you control. Starfield Mystic, 1 white, 1 colorless. Enchantment spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Whenever enchantment you control is put into a graveyard from battlefield, put a counter on the Mystic. Herald of the Pantheon, 1 green, 1 colorless. Enchantment spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, you gain 1 life. Very good card. As you see, you're drawing cards, gaining life, putting counters, making angels. Very fun, good deck. Faith Healer, 1 white, 1 colorless. Sacrifice an enchantment, gain life equal to the sacrifice enchantment's total casting cost. You can do this if somebody's about to kill it and you just make the life out of it anyway, or if you're in a bind. And that's it. We've got the mana-based Celestial Colonnade for white, blue, and 3 colorless. It becomes a 4/4 white and blue elemental creature with flying and vigilance. It's still land. That's very good because it has evasion, it flies, it can attack, and then you could tap it for mana for your counter spells or instants or whatever. Very, very, very good card. Opal Palace. Add 1 mana of any color to your commander's color identity. That's all of them. If you spend mana to cast your commander, it enters the battlefield with a number of additional +1 counters on it equal to the number of times it's been cast from the command zone this game. The World Tree, land, enters battlefield, tap it for green. As long as you control 6 or more lands you control have tap. Add 1 mana of any color. And Double Wooburg, sacrifice the World Tree, search your library for any number of God cards, put them on the battlefield, then shuffle your library. Gateway Plaza, enters the battlefield tapped. And now we get into the cheaper cards that are basically like Cities of Brass. They give you all colors. Gateway Plaza. Hall of Heliod's Generosity. I'm going to have to check the price on this card. This is a very good card. You can tap it for colorless or 1 white, 1 colorless. Put target enchantment card from your graveyard on top of your library. So it's like a Volrath Stronghold, but for enchantments. Very good card. I'm gonna have to get some more of these. I'm gonna have to check the price on that. Rupture Spire. You got to pay 1 when it comes into play, or it's destroyed. But it gives you mana of all the colors you need. Reflecting Pool, same thing. Forbidden Orchard, same thing. All your opponents are probably going to have all 5 colors. And that's it. Everything else is just kind of regular old lands. So that's it. I hope you liked my Go-Shintai build of Life's Origins. I hope you like this video. I like making them. And go on Patreon if you want and donate. We like to say that we don't just want to be another Commander channel. We want to be a Commander community. And you'll see, if you would please subscribe. If you've stuck with us this long, you might as well. I'm telling you, I promise you, we've got a lot of good things on the horizon. We're going to have contests, but also another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make videos to help my subscribers make their life better, like maybe get their own YouTube channel. We're a very fast-growing channel. We're pushing 3,000 subscriptions in 3 months, and I'm very happy with that and very humbled. I wanted to say thank you for that. And what I'm planning on doing is when we break 4,000 subscribers, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a video to all of my subscribers and Crypties and tell them the tips and tricks that I did and researched and learned to be able to grow a channel so fast. So that's the type of stuff we're going to do here. We're going to not just be a channel, we're going to be a community. We're going to have videos that help you do things in other walks of life. So that's it. I'm going to get on out of here. I hope you enjoyed my video. I enjoy making them. And we'll see you again on the next Commander's Crypt.